Okay, I'm Becca Murphy, and I have type 1 diabetes. Around 18.8 million people are diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in the United States. Type 1 diabetes is known as juvenile or childhood diabetes. It's a form of diabetes, it's like an autoimmune disease, where the insulin producing cells in the pancreas just stop working. Type 1 diabetes affects the cells of the body by not allowing the insulin to act as like a key to open up the glucose that has entered in the bloodstream.
Type 1 diabetes occurs when the body's immune system attacks and destroys certain cells in the pancreas, an organ that is located behind the lower part of the stomach. These cells, called beta cells, are contained, along with other types of cells, within small sections of endocrine cells called the pancreatic islets. Beta cells normally produce insulin, a hormone that helps the body move the glucose contained in food into cells throughout the body, which use it for energy. But when the beta cells are destroyed, no insulin can be produced and the glucose stays in the blood instead, where it can cause serious damage to all of the organ systems in the body.
Some of the symptoms for type 1 diabetes are excessive urination because so much of the sugar has been built up in your bloodstream. It's making you really thirsty, so making you thirsty. You're drinking a lot of water, so you have to pee all the time. In addition to the excessive urination and thirst, extreme hunger is also a symptom. You could just eat and eat and eat, sit there and eat for hours, and you still feel like you're starving because of the cells have become depleted of energy, and because the insulin isn't working, the glucose is never reaching the cells. And a lot of times in diabetes, you're going to lose a lot of weight because of the loss of sugar and muscles, and the fat will just shrink. So all your fat will just kind of go away. And the cells become deprived of sugar, and so you can become very tired and irritable, or you're just never sleeping, and just kind of like waking up in the middle of the night because you have to go to the bathroom a lot, and you're always thirsty. So it's just kind of like a constant cycle. And if your blood sugar is really high, you can kind of see like doubles, like your vision becomes really, really blurred because of the tissues in your eyes. It just becomes like messed up. Yeah, okay. And be like, get back over here, do it again.
Diabetes has been around since 1500 BC and was recorded in early medical documents. A Greek physician, Arrhasius of Cappadocia, around 200 AD initially called the disease diabetes mellitus. The Indians used to check for diabetes by testing if the ants were attracted to the urine or not. If they were, then the person was diabetic. Whereas now, doctors do tests such as the fasting blood glucose or FBG test. This is a test in which the patient has to fast before they take a blood sample, and from that, a blood sugar sample. In the late 1800s, Paul Langerhans, a German physician, found the portion in the pancreas which was discovered to be the place where insulin is created, then gathered, and finally released.
There is no exact population at risk, but because this is juvenile diabetes, adolescents are more likely to know if they have the disease than adults. If an immediate relative has type 1 diabetes, one's risk of developing the disease is 10 to 20 times more of a risk than the general population.
In order to stay healthy, a person with diabetes will take insulin shots daily before each meal and at night. In addition to insulin shots, a patient would have to maintain a nutritional and healthy diet. Dr. Banting and Best in Ontario were the ones that discovered insulin in the 1920s. They discovered that insulin by taking the knowledge from German studies on the pancreas and testing it on animals. They took hormones from dogs' pancreas, and when they did this, the dogs started showing the symptoms of diabetes. They named their hormone insulin and later insulin.
Diamond, a new vaccine, is going through human clinical trials. This promising vaccine was found at UCLA and may be out in the near future due to the promising data. Doctors over at UCLA are positive that this new treatment for diabetes is much more efficient. Diamond is not only a treatment for diabetes but also a prevention. GAD, glutamic acid decarboxylase, is a protein in beta cells of the pancreas and quite an important part of the immune system's destruction of cells. Diamond is thought to prevent the autoimmune attack by inducing tolerance to GAD.